I'm Mixer Giant and going to be celebrating Warner Bros. 100th anniversary by saying how they can do the two new total drama seasons they announced.
With you also exploring the relationship between Chris and Seth, and you also exploring what point in time the confessions take place at.
You'd also say in this season that each season takes place of 1/2 year, and do some fun moments of Chris's friendship with Seth. For the new total drama seasons, for how these challenges and seasons should work, they're going to need to have 24 episodes on each one to flesh out each character as much as they can, with them needing to do new but still awesome challenges. The new season should completely take place on Boney Island. You can just make it that Chris made them think that it was Laurinaka, but really it was Boney Island as a big twist at near the end of the season. Because the fans have been wanting that for a while now. And this season, the contestants would vote each other off by liking the pose that the other contestant who they want to eliminate did. Then the way they would get off the island is Chris using them as bait for the sharks. And for them needing to swim all the way back home without getting eaten by the sharks. Because the original creators of the show and the creators of these two new seasons said that this season the challenges would be based on social media, horror movies, and baking challenges. For the challenges, you would make it them needing to do an extreme viral video that needs to get a lot of views. Them needing to go around the island to get hidden ingredients to make something good for Chris and Seth to eat. And with there also being a challenge where they need to scare Chris and Seth. Then them also needing to humiliate the other contestants on social media. Still discussing things from the other contestants so they can do an eating competition to get Sugar and Owen to throw up. And for Chris to make them think there being a zombie apocalypse on the island. And with them also needing to make up their own horror movie and whoever is the best one wins. And for the contestants to make up their own serial killer and for them to fight against each other. Then for the contestants of these seasons, them needing to blow up each other contestants' base. Z would be a chill guy, but him being the guy who supplies the other teams with things. Him being the guy who knows how to get things in the cell. MK would be a chill girl, but then they would get closer and find out what MK stands for. And MK would have a romance with Z. With Whippet, you would need to do him being a sarcastic way but different than Noah. People are already calling him a combination of Noah and Owen, so you can do him eating a lot, and him being the guy to deflate everyone else's ego when they get too overconfident. And you can make it him having a problem with Axel and one of the challenges and with her leadership on the team, but them getting over it, and him actually saying her being a good leader. For Caleb and Bowie, you need to do every girl on the island falling in love with Caleb, and him knowing how good he looks and him showing it like Justin, and Caleb being like Justin, but him not falling in love with any of the other girls for a reason. Then Boy would keep trying to get a date with him, but he would keep failing. But then Boy would get Caleb to admit that he is a part of the LGBT community couples, and them dating each other. The original creators of this show and the creators of these new seasons did say that there's going to be two people that were a part of the LGBT community couples in this new season. And we do already see Boy falling in love with Caleb. Then Emma would look like the good rich girl, but then her turning out to be evil. And her wanting the money to prove how good she is, and also so she won't have to need her parents to be rich. Then Emma would fall in love with Caleb, but then she would get her heart broken when he falls in love with Bowie instead. And you're also putting out in the show and her interacting with the original Irma from Uridanka's race. You'd do him being fun-loving and him having a gangster personality. And you'd also do Damien helping Pariah to get over her parents and for him to be her friend in the game. Then for Rain and Rue, you need to do them being best friends and from the same hockey team. Them caring deeply about each other because of them being friends. but Rue being jealous of Rain because of him being so good at things, and Rue being a scaredy cat, but then he would stand up for both him and Rain against one of the other contestants, then he would save that contestant and Rain from one of the challenges, and then he would realize he's pretty good too. And Rain would be the fun-loving nice guy that everyone likes like Jeff. Him also being a sports guy like Tyler, and you also hinting him having a romance with Pariah. Then for Axel, you need to do her being a realistic person but also a tough guy person. But her falling in love with Chase which helps her loosen up. And her ending up in the final episode going up against Chase. Chase would also help Pariah loosen up. And the original creators of Total Drama and the creators of these two new seasons did say that there's going to be a disabled person in this season, so it needs to be Chase because of there already being fan art about it. And the only reason why Pariah would be in the game is because of her having controlling parents and her wanting to do something that's her decision. Then for Nikolai and Julie, you would need to do Nikolai being a mean girl, especially to Julie, because while Julie would be famous on social media and not as famous as Nikolai, Nikolai would actually be really famous on social media, but it being because her being famous on social media for being a bad girl, by pranking them and embarrassing them. Julia would be oblivious about it at first, but then she would find out about it and stand up for herself. After Julia would find out about it, Nikolai would feel bad about it, and start to be mean to other people to be good to her, and some of the other contestants. For her making up for it and for them becoming friends in the end, and her being like an older sister to her and some of the other contestants. And for you doing the mean girl becoming a good person in the show, and to do a more original version of the mean person in Total Drama. And to show someone changing in the show but still having their original personality. And Nikolai could actually be the one who finds out Emma being a more bad girl than she seems and her being the one to expose her. Julia would want to be famous, which is why her being on social media so much and her trying to get famous on that, and that's also why she's on Total Drama. Because the theme song of Total Drama does make a big part of why the contestants want to be on Total Drama to be famous. So it's good them having a character in the show to represent that in general in Total Drama and in the contestants. And Julia would actually be the person Rain would fall in love with and ends up dating on the show. With her actually being a nice person, but her also playing the game ruthlessly because of her not taking it personally. For scary girls who start out scaring people and being scary, and with her being good at social media and her being big on social media, with her being a combination of the goth from Gwen and the craziness from Izzy, but partially how her being so crazy and scary is because of her being so good at the challenges. No one would know her name, so that's why people would just start calling her Scary Girl. But then we'd see her acting like this because of her wanting to be special, which is also why her signing up for Total Drama. Then we'd see her soften up with the contestants and start to show actual emotions again. Then after elimination, we'd find out what her name is, and she would need to be voiced over by Tara Strong. This season, Chase would win the $1 million because of him needing it, because of his friend having a disease. You need to make it taking years later in the show, and that these contestants came here after the original contestants. You'd also need to make it Courtney and Duncan still being mad at each other, but them definitely not having hard feelings about them being broken up anymore. And with Duncan bonding with Scott over them doing bad things together, and that Gwen and Duncan's friendship is healing, and with Heather and Alejandro officially being together in the end, then you would also have some of the original contestants demonstrating the challenges for the new contestants as unpaid interns, and you can make it that the reason why we saw that stuff in the commercial is because of Chris getting help from the other contestants years later. Then for the last season of Total Drama, you need to bring all the contestants back with some new contestants, and there being a bunch of teams this season and everyone being a team of 8. With each episode, one whole team would get eliminated. In some episodes, they would eliminate more than one team, and more than one team would come back. How it would work is the team that comes in first place and wins the most in the challenges would get immunity, but for the team that comes in last place and fails the most in the challenges, they would automatically be voted off. And for the rest of the teams, them being part of the peanut gallery, and them voting by trying to get a picture of the team they want to go to this season's version of Boney Island. And for how they would leave space in this season, they would be slingshot back to Earth. In every episode, a team would be eliminated, and the winning team would get a prize. Until the last episode, where there's only one team left, and whoever wins splits the money with them. And it being whoever wins this challenge's choice to split the money with the rest of the finalists. The last season of Total Drama would take place in space, because Chris has friends in Area 51, which they actually did source in Total Drama World Tour, and because they've already been everywhere else in the world, so this is something they need to do to talk themselves over those seasons. And you can make it that in the modern day the contestants became very successful and have influential jobs in real life, so you can use that to explain how this happening in the show. The challenges being based on fake locations in space, and the fake locations and challenges would be mostly mechanical like in Pockettail Island. Then you should also have Chris not try to actively kill them in this season and have him act like how he did in Total Drama World Tour. Just say for the reasons why he was acting like that in the previous seasons, you can just make it that he's just mad that the original contestants wouldn't come back to do the fourth season, and also him not feeling attached to the new cast, and because of them running low on money because of the ratings going down. So them needing to get the ratings up to get more money. And because of him missing his pet mutated Venus flytrap Larry, and because of him hating that his old friend who hosted the Redonkulous race not only betrayed him, but is also doing another show against him. So he wanted to use this show to get revenge on him. And Chris would just be thinking that he would be using this to get revenge on everyone who treated him badly during his college years. And the reason why he would get some of the contestants that used to be on the other show would be to help him do that. You can still do the challenges intense, you just need to make it him not trying to kill them in it, and him being able to get casual and hang out with the contestants. And because of him knowing it being the last Total Drama season, him wanting it to be the biggest season ever so they can go out with a bang. Then for the contestants that flew into the sun, you can just say that this is after they healed from that. And for why everyone would come back in this season, you would say Chris using the new contracts against them, and because of it taking place in space, and because since it's the last season, it would be the last chance to do these things. And this season, they're making it that you get $1 trillion if you win. And for where Chris got the extra money, you can just say he got the money from the other seasons. Him crowdfunding it and him starting to go pay me for it. It being all the money that the show made over the years in general. And him asking the guys in charge of the show for it and it being some of Chris's own money from it. You being able to star in a movie of your choice, you being able to make your own TV show. And you're also getting a lot of priceless things for collectors and autographs from a lot of famous people. And your own private jet and an island resort that's better than Chris's mansion and the spa hotel combined. Seriously, Chris's mansion and the spa hotel is nothing compared to the island resort that you could win in this season. And that Chris would make you so famous, it would be multiverse so famous because of how famous you would be in real life. This way, anyone would want to do the total drama challenges, and you can even have some of the contestants say it'd be crazy for them not to do these things because of the prizes being so good. And for the original contestants, you can just say it being their retirement plan. And for the new contestants that came after them, you can make it that they're doing this so they can live the rest of their life in luxury. And for them getting their revenge on Chris at the end of the season, you can just make it that they slingshot Chris back down to Earth. Then for the challenges of this season, you do them having the choice to sing or not in this season, and them needing to hunt down the animals of Total Drama, and each team trying to blow up each other's team's base. Then each team needing to play catch with a boulder and a catapult. And also them needing to fight against the other teams by using each of their own team members out of a cannon and them using them to do damage to the other team. Then them playing in a giant board game. And also them playing a giant video game in real life. With each team controlling a fake part of space against the other team. Then each team needing to fight each other with a dueling stick on a rickety bridge over a volcano. Then them fighting against the interns who are dressed up like superheroes in a role-playing game. And also in this scene you would show who really won the Total Drama seasons. Because the only reason why Owen won Total Drama Island was because everyone else cheated for him, so it's much better Gwen winning. And the only reason why Owen winning is because of him eating the last marshmallow first. It makes it obvious that Gwen actually won, while still keeping it in continuity with the rest of the show. And you can just make it that's why they don't give the last marshmallows or anything else they use for marshmallows to the winner of that season anymore. Duncan should be the winner of Total Drama Action because he's one of Total Drama's most iconic characters, and his ending is so much better with him ending up with Courtney in the end of the season. You should make it that Alejandro wins because the whole season is based around Alejandro, and this makes it feel like Heather got last cheated out of $1 million. And you should make it that Cameron is one who actually won Total Drama Revenge of the Island. Because Cameron is a jerkface character, and he did spend the money on the rest of the contestants. And you should also have Zoe win the $1 million in Total Drama All-Stars because of all the terrible things that Mal did. While it's already enough Mike getting rid of his other personalities, and Sun should be the winner of Total Drama Pockettail Island because of him being a better character than Sky and him having a better romance with Jasmine. And Jeff and his best friend should be the winner of Total Drama The Redonkulous Race. Because Jeff is the nicest guy and he's one of the most iconic Total Drama characters. And to explain why all these guys are doing Total Drama again, well, there is already a reason why they didn't get rich at the end of the season in every season, so you can just say that for why they want to win this $1 trillion for them to actually become rich in the end. Then for how you would do the contestants in this season, mine would be the mean sassy girl to Lasagna's nice sassy girl. And this will be the season Lasagna and Hale rekindle their on-screen romance. Because the fans have been wanting Lasagna and Hale to get together for a while now. And because of the prizes being so good, that's why even Blaney would be competing this season, along with that guy from Celebrity Manhunt that she was with. Stephanie and Ryan would get along great with the other couples like Mike and Zoe, and Cody and Sierra. The hippies would get along great with Don and Izzy because of them all being connected to nature. And the father and son would be in the game again for his son to have some friends with the other contestants. But then they would realize because of them having a better relationship than some of the other contestants have with their parents, it being good his son having a friend even if it is his barber. But they would still become friends with some of the other contestants. Ken and Tom would go great with the other best friends of the show, like Katie and Sadie. It would be great to see Devin and Carrie go on a double date with Zoe and Mike this season. In space. And Mary and Aldi would get along great with Cameron and Harold. Harold would show them how to loosen up every once in a while. And Harold could also show Cameron how to be more adventurous. The best friends and rock stars from Redonkulous Race could just hang out and rock out with Gwen and Duncan. Gary and Pete would turn out to be old friends of Chris and Seth. because of them being tennis players, and Chris did say he used to be a part of a badminton movie. And Pete even looks like Chris. And have a playful rivalry with Tyler because of them both doing sports. And Emily and Taylor would be like sisters to the Dakotazoid because of them nurturing her idea of wanting to be famous. And Judd's best friend would help him be his wingman with Bridget. Heather and Alejandro would make the ice dancers lose trust with each other. But then the ice dancers would find out about it and try to get revenge on them. Heather would want to be in the competition again because she got cheated out of $1 million twice. So she wants to win the $1 million, and Alejandro would want to be in the competition again because he almost won the $1 million twice. Then Jesse and Jack would almost beat Heather and Alejandro, but then they would say, how does it feel to lose $1 trillion and not just $1 million this time? But then Heather and Alejandro would beat them in the end, and then they would say, how does it feel to lose $1 trillion and not even come close to winning it in the first place? And Jack could try to sabotage Rick, and Jack and Jesse could bond with Heather and Alejandro with them both having a villain romance. You can also do a joke about Jesse and Jack doing an evil laugh better than Max. And the gods would have a good friendship with Gwen and Duncan, and they would actually be the reason of why Gwen and Duncan would be friends again. And why Courtney and Duncan are friends again too. They'd also bond with DJ over their shared love of bunnies, and you can even do a joke about DJ seeing how scary bunnies are. You can also do them liking some of the same things as Gwen and Duncan, and even Gwen and Duncan being creeped out by them. With you doing a joke that some of the challenges energizing them and not even some of the challenges could energize them. And with them asking how does Gwen get her makeup to stay like that, but then it turns out Gwen doesn't wear makeup, she just has pale skin and actually has green hair and green lips. Then the cards would go against every villain in the game, and they would also learn how to loosen up and have fun every once in a while from all the fun-loving contestants in the game. And I don't care what you say, it's good that Ezekiel and Dakota Zoid are mutated by the toxic waste, because that did my favorite episode from Total Drama All-Stars. And Total Drama All-Stars and Total Drama Pocket Tail Iron are really good seasons of Total Drama. And it gives Ezekiel something other than just being the guy who gets voted off first every time. And because of her being the Dakota Zoid, her being able to defend herself, and she does have her romance with Sam. Then with Stacy, you would need to do her telling people about her family because there's nothing interesting about her. But her finding out that there is something interesting about her and that she doesn't need to talk about her family all the time. Then for Leonard, you would need to do him thinking that he's a wizard because of him liking the fantasy movies and him having really good times doing role-playing games. But him finding out that you can make your life magical, and him having a romance with Sugar, and that Viking girl he is with in Radonka's race, you can just make it that she is his best friend. And all of these guys would be on the same team with the beatboxing guy, but this time you took advantage of him doing sound effects and challenges, and him spitting hot rhythm with his beatboxing. And since all of these guys are known for being voted off early in Total Drama, you can make it that this is the first team that gets eliminated. So they can have all the contestants in this season, but us not having to see these contestants specifically a lot in this season. You can also make it that he wants voice acting to be his job when he becomes a grown-up. So that's why him doing sound effects and beatboxing. And with him wanting to win the $1 trillion so he can become a famous beatboxer. Zoe's relationship would be even better than ever now that Zoe doesn't have to deal with Mike's multiple personality disorder. Jeff and Bridget would be contestants in this season, but they would still get voted off, and as soon as they do get voted off, they would be doing the Aftermath show. And there would be 4 Aftermath episodes, with 4 episodes taking in between them, and all of them being in the middle of the season, and specifically in the middle. Then Anne Maria would be angry that Vito's gone, but then she'll get over it. Then for the Courtney and Duncan relationship in Total Drama, You need to do in this season, Duncan and Courtney finally get over it, and Duncan and Courtney just becoming friends again. And Duncan and Gwen's relationship would be completely healed at this point, and them just being friends again. Because all the fans are sick and tired of it, so you should put it to rest in this season. And the fans have wanted Courtney to be a good total drama character again for a while now. And Gwen is a good total drama character, so it's good you're also doing this for her. Duncan would even be happy for Scott for dating Courtney. Then Scott would try to sabotage his own team, and Heather and Alejandro would try to stop him from doing it and try to sabotage the other teams. Then we'd also see Duncan, Gwen, Heather, and Owen become even closer, with them revealing what they said in the island, and Chris showing what they said on the island. Then Heather and Alejandro would use people not believing Heather in Total Drama World Tour and people not believing Duncan in Total Drama All Stars. So just because of them judging someone by their past history is why they didn't believe them about the real run of that season. And that would be how they convince the other contestants to go against the ice dancers and that they are evil. And the ice dancers would also make it that they are still doing evil things, but then making it look like by an accident, and by people already knowing them doing it by accident, is how they're managing to trick people to do the evil thing in the end, and to also make it look like other people did the evil thing, and that other people did the evil thing by accident. And them just doing it so it just looking like they did the evil thing in front of Chris and the other guys in charge of the show. Then because of Justin being the handsome evil guy before Alejandro, you would make it him knowing that Alejandro is the one sabotaging the other teams and him being the one to expose him in front of the other contestants. Then you would also make it this being the season where Owen and Izzy get back together. Because of them being perfect for each other and them being one of the most iconic total drama couples. Then you would also make it this being the season that Sierra and Cody finally get together. Because they are a cute although creepy couple. And Cody did already find out that while Sierra does have an unhealthy obsession with him, she is a true and good best friend to him. That's even why she got thrust in Total Drama All-Stars because of Cody needing her back home. And Cody is never going to end up with Gwen, so it would be good him ending up as a couple in the end. Then B would be helping his team out in the challenges with his inventions. And Cameron would just love being in space. And have a friendship with Cody because of both of them Sierra having an unhealthy obsession with. And you could do some jokes about him not needing his bubble anymore and him facing his fear of an eight-legged Izzy. And you can make it that the reason why he's so good with inventions is because him coming from a really high-tech family that owns a tech company. And the reason why he wants to win the $1 trillion is so he can start his own company and prove himself to his family. And the reason why he doesn't talk much is because he just naturally doesn't talk a lot in general. Then we'd see Noah's friendship with Owen and his romance with one of the sisters. Then the sisters would find out that they're more similar to Amy and Sammy than they thought because of all of them fighting a lot. But the thing that makes them different from Amy and Sammy, and the thing that makes them friends and family, is that they get over it. Then Amy would be more about doing the challenges this season, and being a jerk for all the other contestants, not just her sister Sammy. And then Amy and Sammy finding out from Sadie and Katie and the twins how to be good sisters to each other. And they would actually be good to each other and work together at the challenges. With Amy still doing terrible things and her still being a jerk to the other contestants. And Sammy would make it perfectly clear that her name is Sammy, not Sammy. And Rodney would be dating Amy. And with him being able to talk to the girls that he likes in this season, and him actually explaining to Amy, Jasmine, and Scarlett that he actually had a crush on them during the Pockettail season, and that he hasn't been around a lot of girls in his life, so that's why him not being used to these girls specifically. That's also why he would be angry that Son stole Jasmine from him, and it just being that Jasmine didn't even know that he was in love with her. And that's why he would stand up for Scarlet. And he would need to stand up for Scarlet because of people going against her because of her being so evil in this season and the last seasons he was in. And you can actually see him be in charge of his team during this season. And you can actually do some good things with him being from a farm. And with him being a big strong guy. And for his feelings with Amy not being reciprocated at first, but then her falling in love with him too. Then for Scott and Max being back in the season, you would just say Chris didn't want to put them back in the season, but it's because of the fans wanting them back in the season. Then Tofu would sabotage the other teams for Chris, but then Tofu would betray Chris for his friends, the other contestants. Tofu doing it because of it being the closest thing he'll ever get to being a host on this show. And when Chris votes him off this season, you can actually make it that's because of that why he starts to like Tofu in the end. And you would also use him for being a big Total Drama fan during the challenges, and for him knowing about things that happen in the show itself because of him being such a big fan of Total Drama in general. Then Sierra would also help him get over his unhealthy obsession with Chris, but then he would also show Sierra that it's good him being such a big fan of Chris. And he would also have a romance with Ella. Then it would turn out that Ella loves fairy tales so much because of everyone getting their happy endings in the end. But then she would find out in the end that life can be a fairy tale because of you doing your happy endings in it. Then you'd use Sky and Dave ending up together because of Dave being the most picked on guy in Total Drama. And him not being a terrible guy because of him having a right to not be driven crazy by the other contestants, like Leonard and the beatboxing guy. And Sean and Jasmine are the best part of Total Drama Pockettail Island. So you should make it them getting very far in the challenges. And because of it being partially Sky's fault why Dave and Sky's relationship is so bad, with her giving Sky bad advice about it, and with Dave and Sean having a good relationship before it, you would need to make it them becoming friends in the end and them usually hanging out with each other during this season and during the challenges. Then DJ would be here and you would get rid of his animal curse in this season. And you'd also make it him dating Eva in this season to give her something to do. And because of them already hinting at it in the first episode of Total Drama in their first season, you can even make it that it brings out a more caring side of Eva and that see how it's him stand up for himself. Then Don should be dating Rick in this season. Then you would also do Joe's rivalry with Rick in this season. And you'd also throw in her rivalry with Lightning in there, with her dating Lightning in the end and with him getting voted off later in the season. Because of them hinting at it at Total Drama Revenge of the Island. And because of her having a hippie personality and Rick having a militaristic personality. So you can make it that she brings out a more caring side of Rick. And you should also make it that in the finale it's Rick versus DJ, because of them having similar yet different paths in this season. And Rick would win this season because of him being a fan favorite and because of the fans liking him, and because of him needing the $1 trillion to save the house that his family lives at. And it would be nice you showing the other parts of Frost TV in this season, by some of the new contestants being some of the characters from 18, Stoked, and Gua's band. Just the main 8 characters and the gods and clones from 18, all the workers and mascots from Stoked, and the reason why 18 would be there was because they want the $1 trillion so they wouldn't have to worry about spending so much at the mall. And my Stoked would be there because they want the $1 trillion so they wouldn't need a job where they work at, and them being able to serve as much as they want at the beach hotel they work at. And Gua's band, the Newmans, Trina and Mina, and Nick Mallory and his little brother Mick Mallory from Gua's band. And Gua's band would be there so people all over the world would hear their music, and because of them wanting the $1 trillion. And you should also make it the theme song at the beginning of this season and the end credits of this season. And that Trina would just be here to ruin it for them. But Mina would stop her from doing it and try to get revenge on her for doing it. And Trina would start to have an actual caring relationship with Corey. and you would need to make it the last special episode of the season. Has all the characters in the theme song and you showing the same one at the end credit, and it being the fan-made full version of the theme song done by Dango. You can just say Guasban did the full version of the theme song in the show, but for the real world reason it would be Dango in the comment of one of his videos, so it being okay them doing this and him getting the credit for it. I will show you this full version of the theme song, but while all the credit for the theme song itself should go to Dango, I should also get some credit for putting in the extra whistle halfway into the song, and for adding and putting the clips together for the visual part of it.
It's plain to see, I wanna be famous. I wanna live close to the sun. We'll pack your bag cause I've already won. Everything to prove, nothing in my way. I'll get there one day. Cause I wanna be famous. Na 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 na. I wanna be famous. I wanna be famous. A rising star, I'm closer to fame, and I won't stop until I win the game. Pay close attention, I'll be on your screen. In every movie I'm in, I'm gonna steal the scenes. I wanna be famous. No path in life I'd rather choose. I'm on my way up, I got nothing to lose. Was born for this moment on this special day. Now here's what I gotta say. I wanna